Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with a DC and independent comic haul. Let's get right to it. First up we have The Brave and the Bold presents Justice League of America, number 28. So it has the COA, I think it might have been a loot crate. I'll take that all day. I like those. Usually if I'll buy like a big lot on eBay, then if there's one of these reprints, then I'll pull them out for myself, and that's what happened with this one. This was also a book that I kept out of an eBay lot. It's 80-page giant, The Flash. So I sell and resell a lot of these kind of Silver Age DC books. I like to resell Silver Age DC and Bronze Age Marvel. So on this one, I have a hard time selling the 80-page giants that are in good condition. I just feel like I'm saving them for myself generally. I really like this one. Has the go-go checks at the top. It's an excellent condition of this book, which sells for pretty good money, by on its own, in decent condition. So even got Jay Garrick on there. I mean, it's got some great stories in here. It says 2 classic stories from the Golden Age, and then also there's 2 modern stories, so it's pretty cool. I love that. I think it's awesome. Here's another one of those, why do I love this cover so much? So this is Do You Dare Enter the House of Mystery? This happened to me once before with the same cover artist. I was looking around and I just couldn't believe how much I liked the cover. I think it just looks awesome. It's absolutely great art. And there were several other House of Mysteries in this. I picked this up out of a dollar bin, and there were other House of Mysteries as well, but they didn't speak to me. And this one I just thought was awesome, so I picked it up. And then of course it's a Bernie Wrightson cover, so he just tends to catch me. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and say he's probably my favorite of these Bronze Age horror type titles. Just really cool. So anyway, love it. Then let's move on a little bit to some Tomb Raider action. So here is Lara Croft Tomb Raider Free Comic Book Day edition. I think this is a reprint of maybe the 1/2. Here is number 11, Tomb Raider number 11. Very nice. That looks awesome. Really like these Tomb Raider covers. I've almost completed my Tomb Raider run. I'm only missing a couple of comics, and then there's a couple of variants that I'm after. The ultimate goal here is number 14. The ultimate goal, look at those skulls. That might fit for, I think there's an Instagram hashtag goes around, it's like Skull Sunday or something. So next time I get tagged in one of those, this one's going up. I really like that. I think that there are several variants in this Tomb Raider series, and my ultimate goal is to collect all, I think there's 50 comics plus a 1/2 and a 0, and I'd like to collect every variant of that comic within reason. There are some that are extremely low print runs and are just going to be impossible to get, and those will be my grails later on. Hopefully I can get them relatively cheap. It's funny, some of the things that I started collecting when I first started collecting, right? So Tomb Raider was one of the first comics that I started collecting. So I've been hot and cold on collecting them because other things take your interest along the way, right? But now I have a renewed interest in finishing some of those runs that I started when I first started collecting. And what's interesting to me about that is that they are not always, you don't have the same feeling about it as you go through. And at the time I was like, I want every cover, every variant. And then I was looking at some of the variants at that time, again, when I first started collecting, and I was like, man, I'll never own that. That book costs $35. No! Now I'm like, $35? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I was going to pay $350. This is great. So in the beginning, the prices that I saw some of these comics for, and I would fall out of my chair thinking about, oh my gosh, I'll never own that. That's too much money for a comic, you know. And then fast forward a little bit in my collecting, and I'm looking at like some of these comics that I could have picked up, you know, a while ago, and I'm like, why didn't I buy that? Why didn't I buy that? It's only $35. I should already own that. I can't believe that's what stopped me from having this completed run. And that's kind of where I'm at on a couple of these runs that I'm working on. Tomb Raider, my Wolverine runs, and getting all the volumes of Wolverine. So when you look at the runs like that, you're like, oh man, I'm so close to completing it. Why did I ever stop? And I'm like, oh yeah, because at that time in collecting, $35 was a ridiculous amount. I was not paying that for any comic books. I was dollar bin hunter only. And then, you know, of course, now things have changed. So there you go. Next, we'll move into Cavewoman. There is Cavewoman number 4. This is the Rain series. Really, really great story. I think I'm missing number 3 and maybe number 6, but I've been collecting these as I can. The problem is there's some first issue covers, and then there's second print covers, and first print, second print covers, and sometimes I have a hard time deciding between them because they're both pretty good. So you know what'll happen eventually, I'll own both sets. But generally, some of the covers don't even have Miriam, the Cavewoman, on them, so if it has Miriam, I try and collect that. I love Clyde. I think they're great together, and I think this is the first time that they start fighting and getting into their, you know, routine, like before they're friends. So this is pretty cool. I've already read Cavewoman or Rain, which is like a second volume to the original Cavewoman run, I think, which is only maybe 4 comics, and then this one is like 8. So it's a really good story. Up to number 3, but I don't have number 3, so hopefully I'll get that soon. So there's number 4. Here is number 5. Another great one. It says Cavewoman versus Clyde, round 2. Look forward to that. And then here is number 10. I'm sorry, here's number 8. And that's pretty cool. They kind of did it like a movie. And you see, like, they did it like a movie poster. And you say, where's Miriam? There she is. She's all blended in there. So, and there's a big dinosaur T-Rex that's always bothering them. So anyway, that's my quick little comic haul. Say hi, Miriam. She's right there. Next No Faces Comic Chat, I'll include as a topic, you know, how and why has our comic budgets changed, which is funny because every now and then I'll think back to a time when I didn't really have a comic budget. I just spent what I spent. I didn't know what I spent, and those were the dark days. You collect a lot of comics and you can't afford your own collection. You start filing your comics away and you're thinking, did I really need this? Look how many I have. This is ridiculous. So if y'all are like me, let me know. Give me a thumbs up and like the video, share, subscribe, that whole routine, and catch us on the Monday night No Faces Comic Chat. All right, see y'all later. Thanks. Bye. Oh, by the way, read a comic.